Wabigoon River.
Thank you, Speaker. To the Premier. Speaker, quote, "In the spirit of reconciliation, the Ontario government should do the right thing," end quote, and clean up the Wabigoon River system and Clay Lake. That wasn't the NDP that said this, even though we've repeatedly raised the issue of the legacy of mercury contamination of the Grassy Narrows First Nation territory with this government. That was Ontario Regional Chief Isidore Day. Quote, "No single act would go further to illustrate that a new era has dawned in our relationship with Indigenous peoples and our shared environment," end quote, Dr. David Suzuki. Quote, "Efforts to remediate the mercury have been postponed long enough," end quote. That's the Liberal MP for Dryden and the former Indian Affairs Federal Minister Bob Nault. Speaker, when will this government do what everyone knows needs to be done and clean up the Wabigoon River so that the people of Grassy Narrows may fish and live off their land without becoming sick?
Question. Thank you. Premier. Minister of Aboriginal Affairs.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as you know, this report was released the other day. It is with the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change. My office received a copy yesterday. My office is reviewing the report, as is the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change. The report suggests new science. This government is always interested in the best science available, the newest science available. We will consider the science suggestions, the recommendations in the report, after our experts have had a chance to review the report, and we'll have a comment later on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, 2 days ago, the same day the Premier apologized for the province's role in the legacy of residential schools, the Premier said that she hadn't read the report that her government has had since April. And now we hear from the Ministry of Aboriginal Affairs that they've only received the report yesterday. This is ridiculous. Yesterday, the Premier said that she had read the report, but she claimed that the solutions that were proposed in there weren't clear. So let me be clear, because the report is very clear. Determine whether there is an ongoing mercury leak. Find out if there are hot spots that carry contaminated mercury downriver. Inject clay into the river to enhance the natural remediation that's going on. It has been done effectively in other parts of the province, such as Sudbury, decades ago. We know that it can be done. So, Speaker, let me ask this. Why won't this Premier commit to cleaning up the Wabigoon River of its mercury contamination that's making the people in Grassy Narrows sick?
Minister.
Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you. The Minister
Thanks,
of
Mr. Speaker. Not only has the
Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, very much. Not only has the Premier read it, she's instructed me and the Minister of Indigenous Relations, of Aboriginal Affairs, soon to be something even more exciting. So, Mr. Speaker, the report is being reviewed right now. It's been read by myself and the Premier. We take it very seriously. It's not a simple report. It asks for determination of sources, which is complex. There's issues of soil and of sediment. There is issues of the fact that the Dryden plant doesn't use mercury anymore, and there are still potentially other sources. And there's a complex set of issues in Clay Lake. Chief Isidore Day and I meet every 2 weeks. We met yesterday. We had a lengthy discussion about that. He's proposing some ideas. He's working with Grassy Narrows First Nation. We will be moving very quickly on this, but everyone agrees more research to determine which of the interventions suggested and which combination are the best. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, and I'll work with you to ensure we work together on that.
Thank you.